Everyone has a million reasons to blow your brains out with Rick E. Warden, Dave Jarvis, Steve Page of Rivethead, and Sam. Thanks for being with us tonight, guys. Let's go.
Hello.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are y'all doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Oh, most excellent. Most excellent. Did y'all have a nice New Year's?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Mine, I stayed home because I had a sick kid, so it was pretty chill. It was like watch the stars win, and then go to sleep.
Nice.
I had the house to myself, so I just got to lay around all day. It was lovely.
Ooh, I dig your style right there. Is your kiddo all right?
Oh, he's
better?
fine. He's just, a little bit of strep, man. The little colds and stuff are going on like mad at school right now.
Okay.
Sam probably doesn't even remember New Year's.
I do remember New Year's. It was a long night of many video games and videos that shouldn't be shown on YouTube.
Interspersed, of course.
Oh yeah, I mean, you get tired of one, you go to the other, and you get tired of that, you go back.
So, Steve, Sam, how'd y'all meet?
Through our drummer, actually.
Yeah, through Mike. Yeah, I was looking for new members for the band, and when I was talking to Mike, who had previously auditioned for Rivethead, he said, "Man, my friend Sam, he just kind of became available." It's a bit like when you run into a buddy and you're single, and they go like, "Hey, my friend over here, she just dumped her boyfriend," and that's kind of the way we met Sam. He just had split from a band, and no hard feelings there, but we were like, let's get him to come out and hang out with us and see if we can get along.
Yeah, and Mike had originally tried out for the band that I was playing with at the time, or the band that I had just left, and so that's how I ended up knowing him. And so, yeah, the rest is history, and we're now like 3-4 years later, something like that.
Time flies.
It does.
Now, what was the audition process like? Were you one of many?
I honestly don't know. You'd have to ask Steve on that one.
Yeah, so it wasn't like a public thing. It kind of just happened behind the doors, really. I brought the guys out to the studio. We hung out. We had little jams and stuff, and then kind of let them know this is where everything's kind of at the moment. And if you want to jump on, this is the ambitions that I've got. If you'd like to be part of that, and as a group, we can find some cool stuff to do, And we put out a 17-song album and for quite a few videos. I mean, it's been
like that,
one thing after another.
Yeah, man, y'all are busy, and you are definitely one of the most ambitious men I've ever met. I've respected the shit out of you for that for the longest time. I've known you. Fuck, I've known you like 20 years, I think.
Yeah. Since Grain and Rivethead were baby bands playing at all the Ridgey Metal Fests and all over the place, and anywhere between here and Amarillo and back.
Yeah. Were y'all at Graffitis when they cut the mic because they thought I was talking shit?
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was great.
Yeah, I almost got in a fight that night at the bar with some dude, too. It was one of those nights, man. Everything was just, like, off the walls.
What, you're the nicest person in the world.
And you guys are up there going, don't F with Grain, and they pull the plug, and you guys are still playing. I'm like, what's going on? It was mad. Yeah, some dude was getting on. He was... I forget what happened. He was sitting on the girl I was dating at the time, who's now my wife, and he was being rude, so I ripped into him.
Oh, if Steve's ready to fight, something has gone horribly, horribly wrong.
Yes, but that is the most noble reason to fight, so I commend him.
Yeah. Yeah, chivalry. Yeah, chivalry. I'll open the door and then kick you in the head.
Right.
I, too, know how to ride horses.
That's hot.
Totally. Bareback, or do you actually saddle? Don't answer that.
Hey, I mean chivalry.
Yes.
Very good.
I prefer backwards cowboy. Cowgirl.
I wish I could quit you.
So, Steve, Rivethead
maybe
formed.
Cowboy. Who knows?
So, Steve, Rivethead formed in 2002, but you've been playing music long before then with Squeegee and probably even before then. How did you first get into music?
My dad, when we lived in England, had an acoustic guitar and an organ, little cheapy organ, and I would play around with it, and I learned how to play like Christmas songs and things. Like I could rock Silent Night, probably better then than I can now.
You never know.
Yeah, he would play things like Green Sleeves and like some classical pieces on the acoustic guitar, and I thought it was the coolest thing. So I started kind of learning how to play chords on it, and the next thing you know, I had a little imitation Les Paul, and then a BC Rich Warlock, and then I just never looked back. I've been kind of diehard BC Rich player since.
Nice.
I dig that diehard BC Rich.
Thank you.
So was Squeegee your first band?
Yeah, first real band. I mean, I'd done stuff where we played parties and stuff, but Squeegee started, I think our first live gig was at the Basement in '93. And,
dang, holy shit. Ricky.
Yeah, I think I was there.
Were you?
I have video.
No,
I forget. It sounds familiar, though.
It's going to be Baby Steve.
Yeah, well, the Basement was like this intense
I think it was
place.
a blind named Danny that night, so...
Well, the Basement, picture this, your first gig, you walk onto the stage, like bands like Pantera were kind of on their way up. They weren't at their peak yet. Like Pantera had done Cowboys, but they hadn't hit Vulgar. They were already loved locally, but they were well on their way to being massive. And we knew the pressures that came on playing that stage. And you'd get on it, the curtain would close, like they're ready for you to play. The lights would go off, and it was pitch dark. You couldn't see a thing. And when that sucker opened up, it was just blinding. And there was always a great crowd back then. There was just a local following of the metal scene, and it was a bit more glam than my tastes were at that point, but it was always packed, and it was fun. It was just a good time. You always had a crowd, and if they liked you, they'd stay and clap, and if they didn't, they'd go to the back bar and hang out.
Did they like you that night?
They did. Yeah, we did all right.
Nice.
And sang along.
Well, maybe not that much. Well, we did do Killing in the Name, so they knew that one.
Classic. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
And so the band, it kept building from there. And from what I understand, y'all were destined to do Ozfest. Is that correct?
Well, we were on a Battle of the Bands for Ozfest, and there was a bunch of local bands on it, and we all got to play 3 songs in this competition. And we had probably the biggest crowd that night of people that were down in front with Rivethead t-shirts on. It was absolute madness. We did our 3 songs, and then there was probably 5 bands after us. It was a weeknight, so our crowd went like, it's what time of night? I'm going to go home. And they'll go, all right, crowd participation. And we're like, what? Our friends have left. Like,
oh, no.
Yeah, so we didn't place on it. And I know the judges had said something about lack of guitar solos, and we just didn't. We had these really quick set to play, so we didn't pack them with guitar solo songs. So they judged us out of it for that.
Terrible.
That's some bullshit.
Hey, Dave Jarvis and everybody on the panel and everybody listening, watching. Welcome Dank Hank to the panel. Hello, Hank.
Hey.
Is that Hank?
That's Hank.
Yeah. He's silent, though. He's got to turn his mic on.
Yo.
Okay.
Oh, and he's gone.
He boogied. What about that? He's been there for like maybe 2 or 3 minutes, Dave.
It's like, shit, they noticed me. I'm out.
Yep.
Right. I'll be honest. I feel almost disingenuous doing this interview because Hank knows Steve way better than I do. I mean, I've always enjoyed hanging out with Steve, but Hank used to live like right next to Steve, and they used to hang out like way more. So
yeah,
I'm shooting from the hip with a lot of this stuff.
No worries.
Well, we're having a great time, and you're doing a great interview. But
Awesome.
Hank, hop back on when you're ready, bro. Take a piss, do your thing, hop back on. Let's go.
Yeah. So why did Squeegee break up?
So we had just gone out and done a run in Florida, and we literally had just played at a place called at the Florida Theater, sorry. And that's like, it fits like 2,000 people, and it was sold out, complete capacity crowd. We were doing it with our friends Lex and Terry. And
oh shit, no kidding. Oh, that's awesome.
And we still owe them a lot. They still play us all the time, and I go on the radio with them every now and then. But
where are they at?
They're actually at the Clear Channel building, or iHeartRadio building off of the Tollway in Dallas, and they're broadcasting. What company are they with now? I'm not sure who their broadcasting partner is, whatever, but they're broadcasting all over the country, but they're just not on FM here.
Yeah, I don't hear them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they were for a bit. I guess they were on 102 and they were on.
Send them our best.
Yeah, we'll do. Absolutely. I'm going to talk to them every now and then. Like I said, I'm still calling and they still play our tunes. But we had done this show in Florida. We got back and Derek from Rivethead was the singer for Squeegee. And he just said, look, I'm taking a break. I'm stepping out of music for a while. And he just wanted to kind of chill because we'd been going at it pretty hard. So he took a break and I talked to Mickey, our drummer, at that point. And I said, well, we lost our singer. I don't want to be that band that just goes to this, rotating door of singers. We should just start a new band. And the audition process was to get somebody to come in and sing. And we wrote some songs and I sang them as a demo. And the idea was stump Steve, come in and sing it better than me and you can have the gig. The door's still open. Problem is, and I'm not saying I'm a good singer by any means, but when the people came in, I think that when you write songs, sometimes you have an idea of what they're supposed to be. And then somebody comes in and does it their way, and maybe it doesn't kind of fit the mood. And we had more of that, and then it was successful. And the people came in, and they were really good, but they were either too kind of glam metal-y or too pretty or just too death for what we were trying to do. Nobody really hit it middle of the road, kind of what we were looking for. So unfortunately, I have to keep singing. But please do 1-800 replace Steve now is the number calling.
You're a kick-ass singer, though, man. You're a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Do they still have 800 numbers?
I don't know, but if anybody calls it, let me know.
Okay,
as long
cool.
as it's not, it shouldn't be 1-900 Rivethead. Don't call that one.
that
okay.
costs. Yeah, it's like 50 cents a minute.
Okay, and then 976 is just we don't speak of that.
That's the tech support number.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Sorry.
And OnlyFans?
We have actually we're on OnlyFan. We have one, so we couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
Can we get some pictures of Steve's feet right quick?
Yeah, hang on. That's my number one selling item. Yeah, absolutely.
I have a room full of rotating, oscillating fans.
There you go.
You're avant-garde with your porn. Very good.
Exactly. Yeah, I can take lots of pictures of those, put them on OnlyFans.
Now, Steve, I know you. You're ambitious as hell. Did your singer leaving piss you off, or was there animosity?
No, I mean it was a bummer. But I knew. When somebody's kind of getting worn down a bit, and I knew he was tired, and I knew he wanted to take a break. And we're family now, as much then we are today, and love Derek to bits. He took a break, and then we forced him to join back in Rivethead anyway. At some point, we were like, "Okay, break's over," and we didn't let him say no. And we kept him on for. Derek would have to tell me how long it was, another 10 years or something, and then he was just like, "Dude, really, really, I've got to take a break." So he's going again. But my love always goes out to Derek. He's a good buddy.
Good. Now, when you were starting Rivethead, did you just want it to be like a continuation of what you were doing with Squeezy, or were you trying to take a 180?
We wanted to go a little bit different, but we already had some momentum. So people already knew who we were to a certain extent, and we had already getting some, play on radio shows and things of that sort. So we wanted to kind of hit the ground running. And it wasn't that long before we were playing again. We had hired a bass player from Amarillo. His name was Lodi. And some of you guys will know Lodi because he was in Negative 263 as well. Another good buddy. And it started off well. We played the local scene and we got out and did little touring bits around between here and, Oklahoma, Louisiana, that kind of stuff. And until he joined Negative 263, it was a great run with him as well.
Oh, yeah. Nice. So who did you record the Squeegee albums with?
Originally we went to Chopper, who was at what was it called? Dallas Sound something or other. I don't remember the name. And he was excellent. He had done a bunch of stuff, I think, with Double Cross back in the day. And Derek was in that band as well, so he had referred us over there. So we recorded with him, and then
Dallas Sound Lab.
Was it Dallas Sound Lab? That might have been it. And we recorded with him, and then we had I forget. So there's 2 or 3 other people we did some kind of demo things with, but he was our main dude through the 3 Squeegee albums that we did.
Nice. Hey Sam, when was the first time you saw Rivethead?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think the first time I actually saw Rivethead live was probably about 7 or 8 years ago at Trees with Orgy, I believe. The first time I ever actually met Steve, though, was probably back in like 2005 or 2006. He was stomping around Deep Ellum, I believe, in a kilt and a stormtrooper outfit, handing out albums. And,
I remember that. Holy shit, I remember that.
Yeah, I had walked into Reno's and he was just like hanging out in there, like just being a weirdo and stormtrooper outfit. So I was like, all right, who's this weird guy? Oh, he's got albums. Cool. So I took one, and the rest is kind of history.
Yeah, back when you could pass out CDs. No one has a CD player anymore.
Unfortunately. I think my band was actually out passing out CDs that night too, because that was Headbangers Ball tour night, I believe. That was like Cradle of Filth, Hemza.
Nice.
A couple other guys.
Wow.
Back when it was safe. Mostly.
Yeah, back when Deep Ellum was safe and you wouldn't get stabbed for walking around a corner.
Well, and part of the fun, honestly, was being able to share music and, you know, hang out with all your musical friends and meet more musical-minded people and share your music.
People seemed a lot more open to it then, too. Like, you could actually stop and talk to somebody instead of like, man, leave me alone. I'm trying to get drunk. Okay,
man,
cool. Well, listen to this while you drink.
I miss the Deep Fridays, man. I miss Deep Fridays where you could get into 7 clubs for $7 if you had the wristband. You know,
and the Sundays at Curtain Club, the live and local, all the different renditions of that.
Yeah, with Chaz and all that. Yeah,
Chaz, Robert Miguel, and I mean everybody that was kind of part of the history of that. That was just brilliant. Sunday night, man, you'd walk in a Curtain Club at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and there's the guys from Drowning Pool. You know, there's occasionally you get Vinny walking in, and it didn't matter if they were there or not. The place was packed, and it was all local. You know, it was not like you had some big band coming in town, well, except for our local big bands, but it would be packed. It'd be packed for the smallest band that was playing. It's amazing.
I think the only time I ever really made it down to Deep Ellum around that time was to see Fair to Midland at Curtain.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I caught them so many times there. I think I got kicked in the head about 12 times the last time they played there.
Fair enough.
You got to reset the clock every now and then. I understand.
That was also Chad Lavelle down there running sound and holding it down for all those years.
Chad's amazing, man. We love Chad and praying for miracles for him.
What's wrong with him?
Chad had a fall. Yeah, he it's been a couple of years now. He apparently it was either like he was on a ladder or something to that extent, and he fell and hit his head. And he basically was comatose for several months, and now he's apparently responsive somewhat, but he's not able to get up or move around on his own. So he's basically at a almost like assisted living state.
Jesus, is there
Sorry to bring it up, but he really was the core part of Club Clearview was Chad.
Yeah.
Is there like a GoFundMe or a Kickstarter for his medical situation?
There was. I'm not sure if it's still going on or not. There was, I think it was like Love for Lavelle or something, but there was a lot of benefit things going on. I know some of his Course of Empire old bandmates are still doing things to raise money for his care.
Cool.
But yeah, he's still fighting a good fight, you know, and I think he was just in the hospital again, but he's back home.
That was right around the time that COVID started too. So that like really killed like the benefit show that was going on for him and a lot of other stuff too. That's
right. Our last show before COVID happened was at Trees, and it was a benefit for Chad. And it was us and some really great, you know, bands that we were all ready to get out there and kill it. And the next thing you know, it was just the plug got pulled on it. Like nobody should go out. COVID's happening. It was a terrible time, really. It was scary. We didn't know what to think.
Yeah, I'd say we've been living on eggshells for the last 3 years.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to go away. Just keep bloody well coming back.
I seem to be immune so far, so I'm gonna just keep my fingers crossed there.
Hey, let me cough.
Well, God bless you, sir.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts? You know, if y'all have seen decades worth of Deep Ellum, what have you thought of the evolution from when you first went there to what it is now?
You want to go for the old school guy reply first?
Yeah, by all means.
Yeah, so, I mean, Deep Ellum is like anything else. Like, it has its ebb and flow, right? I mean, sometimes it's really great, and then sometimes it sucks. There's been some constants. There's been some really good things that have happened. You know, unfortunately, we just lost a curtain, but that was a constant for a long time. Trees was, and it went, and then Clint brought it back, and he's kept it rocking, which is amazing. And everybody at Trees is just, they're family to us. We love them a lot. But, you know, the crowds, there's been crowds that have come in and gone that have been the right and the wrong crowds. You know, way back in the day when I was going originally, in the beginning, there was, you know, race fights going on between different skinheads and things, which was really hard to figure out what the heck was going on. You couldn't go to a punk show without seeing skinheads beating each other up, which was different, right?
Sedition shows. The sedition shows were the best.
Yeah, I mean, anything with Turner was going to be a good thing, right?
Yeah,
Always a good
KNON.
Yeah,
those a couple of those shows were KNON shows with the metal
Dave
show
Chaos.
and sedition.
Yeah,
The metal show back then, Dave Chaos. It was us. It was Jury Warden and me. We did a metal show back then, but that's not important, man.
No, it was. It was, because I mean, but this is like pre-Z-Rock times, right? Because Z-Rock was a massive lift up.
Pre and then during Z-Rock times, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, KNON has been an absolute constant, and that's why I'm so happy that we've got that like Reckless Rock Radio going now, and they're their family.
Well, you were talking about the shows in Deep Ellum, the punk rock shows with the skinheads, and I didn't want to interrupt that. That's good shit right there.
No, it was it got pretty violent. I mean,
very violent, dude. There would literally be 100 skinheads running up and down the street and in and out of clubs and like just beating on people and shit. So then you had like people there that just love music that are normally peaceful, you know, who had to get pissed off and stand their ground and beat some skinheads' asses, and it was pretty fucking wild for a little while.
The one thing, like, we're in Texas, right, and just like they always say, like in the South, there's some pretty big dudes, right? Grew up on the farm and whatnot, but like we border Mexico. There's some really, really big Mexican dudes here, right? And these guys are our family, right? And some of those dudes, they saw skinheads and they were just like, thump, you know. I mean, that happened a lot. And like I remember going to see Suicidal Tendencies, and at GBH was with them, and Infectious Grooves, an unbelievable show. But it was like watching, like Braveheart, where they're segregated out, where you've got skinheads that are racist versus skinheads who are not racist. And then on one side, you literally had the Crips and the Bloods, and I'm going, I'm the only English guy here, and I need to get out. I'm that's a joke. But still, it was like, who's fighting who? And I just stood back and went, man, great show.
I figured you would have gone Imperial and just conquered them all.
Here we go. About the Death Star. No, but Deep Ellum has had its great times. And, I miss, I'm not going to talk about there's a specific best time, but there were times where you could go to a rock show and just people would be there for the sake it was a rock show. And not necessarily because of who was playing. And when there was a built-in crowd, it was the best.
So you would say like the ebb and flow of Deep Ellum almost mirrors the trajectory of Star Wars films of that same era.
Yeah, because some are great, and then some people complain. But the idea is basically this: just enjoy the ride and don't worry about the plot. If you bought your tickets and went to the show and you enjoyed it and you escaped for a couple of hours, there's no reason to worry about who Padme was and why it got all political and stuff. Like, who were those guys at the beginning that were trying to gas the Jedi, and why were they there? And I still can't really tell you that.
When I go to a Rivethead show, I don't want to hear about Tread Federation embargoes.
No. Yeah. I mean, it's like, we're all Imperials at that point.
I know what I'm talking about the next show then.
Oh, no, here we go.
I'm going to give a whole dissertation on the Trade Federation.
Oh, no. Because, I mean, look, it's for kids, right?
Do you stand or do you fight?
Yeah. But it's for kids. Kids shouldn't have to worry about politics.
Technically, we march fight.
March fight. That's a song. Yeah.
Hey, Sam, how did you get into music?
Well, I was an only child, so with extreme hyperactivity disorder. So my mother had to find an outlet for me since my dad was always out on the road trying to actually make money for the family. So got a piano and started playing piano, and then always kind of sang and stuff like that. And then right around the time I turned 13, I got a guitar, and then slowly made my way over to being a bass player from there, because just necessity demanded it for me to actually like play live. So everybody already played guitar and nobody played the bass, so I figured I would go with the instrument I actually wanted instead of the one my mom picked out for me.
Hey, isn't it cheaper because there's 2 less strings?
No, it is not cheaper. In some ways, I would probably say it's a little more expensive.
Yeah, it's totally.
I mean, the strings are anyways.
Hey, no regrets, all right?
Telephone cables that go thud.
And so with Teeth, was that your first band?
No, my first band was with a guy that at least I know a few people in the Dallas scene know. His name was Chad Cook. We got in a band with him called Caliber 45 way back, probably like the year 2000-ish or so. And then by 2005, I'd move on to another band called Limbo, and we got to play all around Dallas for a little while. Got some radio play and got a little bit of, kind of MTV pickup. And then I moved on to Resurrect with Mel Fleischer. I don't know if anybody knows her or whatever, but that was pretty big around Reno's for a little while.
Dude, that's where I know you from.
So I was
together.
I was the second bass
That's where
player
I know you from,
them.
Sam.
Okay,
that was a badass band. I knew I knew you. I've just been waiting for it to play its way out. But yeah, I know who Mel is. I know the band. I saw you guys multiple times.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. We played our final show there at Reno's, and then kind of all took a sabbatical. I think her and her husband started it back up, back down in like Brownsville or something like that. But yeah, they moved down to the border and all of that kind of stuff. But so yeah, from there I moved on to With Teeth, and then had some time off there for a little while, and then got into With Teeth, and then came right over to Rivethead after that. So. Other than that, I just kind of poke around at home. So,
how'd you hook up with Mike?
He had actually tried out for With Teeth. We were looking for new members. What had happened is the entire first album was written, and they played one show, and then everybody quit the band except the singer. So it was us, coming in trying to like pick up the slack and like get back out on the road and like start playing shows again, do like little small tours and all that kind of stuff. And so it just got to a point where, anybody that was coming into the band to actually play with us was not interested in touching any of the old material at all or anything like that. They only wanted to try to write like new, super technical, like Polyphia type stuff, which is not the sound of the band at all. And so I just got to a point where it's like, all right, I'm tired of dealing with these idiots. I'm going to go actually play some music. So that's where I'm at. Playing music.
To be fair, Polyphia is pretty fucking awesome.
Oh no, they're fantastic. But I do think, much like Pantera, there is room for only one, and everybody else should go off and do their own thing and try to be original. So
good. I like that. Very
Words
good.
of wisdom.
Now, what were y'all's thoughts of Call the Herd, Mike's old band?
I enjoyed most of Call the Herd. Their guitar player has actually been my best friend since 2001. And so Eric over there, he's a good dude. And so we used to jam together when we were kids. I think he shocked my ears, I think, one night with a car battery to wake me up. So, yeah, the joys of having plugs as a youngster. Your buddy's parking his car right outside the window.
Oh man, that's
terrible. It was good times. We used to torture each other all the time. So, but yeah, so I've kept up with his music. I wasn't a super huge fan of the vocals necessarily, but I liked everybody in the band pretty well enough, and jammed with him a couple of times. But yeah, so I'll give him a thumbs up.
Okay, cool, right on. Now, Mike has been a godsend as far as making my music videos. He's made quite a few of them. He's fantastic. Have y'all incorporated his visual styles into any of your videos?
100%. Yeah, Mike is he's a man of extreme talents and many of them, and he's not only great at doing his drums, he's also just a killer video guy, um, live and post together. And between him and Brady Tolk, who's our producer, we do Sock Puppet Parody with him. With having both of those guys in our corner is just unbelievably cool. So we have been putting out videos like way more than we did in the past. They are shot and edited well above anything we thought we could do before. I think Mike owns, 4 Blackmagic cameras, which are essentially the consumer equal to what they shot The Hobbit with, basically. They're fantastic cameras, and we're actually shooting a video on Friday, as a matter of fact.
This should be fun.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep.
That's awesome, because ironically enough, Mike did my newest video, which is coming out this Friday. So if y'all get a chance, check it out. Existential, Apex Predator. All right, quick plug. Sorry, had to get that.
No.
Oh, hey, I have enough time to go find it on YouTube and play it, Dave Jarvis. You just tell me what to do. We'll have a rock and roll party. Hey, real quick.
It premieres on Friday, so you can't see it anytime before then. But he's done, I think, 5 or 6 of my music videos, and he's just been fantastic. And I've also loved recording with him, going over to his apartment even after it flooded, and the carpet was all mushed with wetness, and we still managed to come out with some pretty good songs.
Delicious.
Awesome. So
Mushy Carpet's a good name. I like
right?
Mushy Carpet.
Mushy Carpet.
So what's it like writing with Rivethead?
Man, we're kind of riff oriented. So like Sam will come in, and Sam's a knob twister. That kind of sounds wrong. Let me explain. Oh, we lost our signal. Never mind. So Sam comes in and he's very serious about his tone. So he spends a lot of time like changing little bits of EQs from this little bit to that little bit, and then he just starts riffing, and essentially I come walking in the room and he's like, I got a new riff. I'm like, yeah, I heard it 50 times, so let's record it. And then we write songs around it. And the same thing, so like our last album, half of those were off the cuff riffs that Sam came up with, and half of them were stuff that I was tinkering on the keyboard. So there's a really cool combination of how things can be fun. It's a good combination of where things are coming from, and kind of sharing the meat and potatoes of the writing process. It's really cool.
Now, I know Dave Mustaine says that he never picks up a guitar before pressing the record on some recorder. Is that how y'all do it?
No, I pick up the guitar, then I press record.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, that's a lot of dead air if you pick it up after you hit record.
Yeah, it takes too long. We're gonna have to roll it back, and no, there's certainly, yeah. I mean, like, let's be honest. Dave Mustaine is a genius. I mean, that man can pick up the guitar and play 50,000 notes around the one that I can play.
Here, Dave Mustaine is a genius. I love you, Metallica. I love you, James.
Yes.
Respect.
Yes.
But Dave Mustaine wrote your fucking best record.
Dave Mustaine farts guitar solos on a daily basis.
Yeah. So no
shit. Even at 70.
Yeah. Truth be told, though, there is something that comes with being a musician that, sometimes when you spend too much time playing around, you don't get the best. And sometimes it is that moment you pick it up, you got a guitar in your hand, and you don't even think about it, and you just start playing a riff and go, that's the one. It wasn't something you thought about. It just comes out. So whether that's divine intervention or whatever it is, or just that's the way songwriting works for some of us, at least. And I know Sam's got that as well. Like sometimes I'll do the keyboard, I'll turn it on because I like playing the piano and stuff, and I'll just have a piano sound on and start playing something, and I don't know where it comes from. It's just, that's where my hands went.
Basically.
Now, when y'all go into the studio, do y'all have these are the songs we're recording, or do you like whittle it down?
Well, it's an interesting question, because normally it would have been a whole process of writing all this stuff and then going in and doing it in some massive studio, like where we go to Nomad with Gary and JT Longoria, and we've got a 48 channel board sitting in front of us, and patch the one guitar in number 1, and the bass in a number 2, and then you start going. But when the pandemic happened, we tracked everything at home. So all the guitars were done. Like I have some Line 6 gear. Sam has a bunch of direct in bass stuff, and
Dark glass,
dark glass and all the rest. And so we were tracking everything that way by just recording at home. And our entire 17-song album was done that way. We never actually went into the studio until we went to go listen to a mix.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Man.
Even the mic I'm talking on right now, I'll put it up. I can't get on that camera. This is the mic. The SM7B was what I used to record the entire album.
The Shure SM7B.
There you go. There's a plug.
Get one today.
And Sam's got one over here too.
Yay. That's what I use for my voice studio work.
Now, do you have a favorite producer that you go to?
So for years, it's certainly been JT Longoria, and he's still our family, and we still love him, and we'll still go to him. When we were working on this last album, JT was very busy. He was teaching some students, some kids on all sorts of instruments. He's a multi-instrument player, so he teaches, I think, guitar, bass, drums, violin. I mean, he does everything. And so it'd been a long time I've been chatting with Alex Gerst about potentially doing some stuff with Rivethead, and it just worked out that we hit him up, and he was available. So we started sending one track at a time to him, and that's how the album got done, piece by piece.
It was actually Sam from Negative 263 that reminded me that Alex existed.
Nice.
We were talking one day. He's like, "Yeah, we just did a whole new album." With I can't remember the name of the band he's with right now, but he's like, "We just did our whole album with Alex." And I was like, "Oh, hey, Steve, JT's taking a little long on this, so let's poke Alex and see if maybe he wants to jump on it too." So
yeah, plus Alex is a Star Wars guy too, so it was just
that's
like,
true.
Yeah, and Alex is a genius as well. He's just amazing talent.
Now, he's a genius because he's a genius, or because he loves Star Wars?
Both. And pinball. Yeah.
Okay.
Pinball's good too.
Yep.
It's very diplomatic of you. I love that.
Absolutely, yeah. All things.
Pinball wizardry speaks to multi-talent.
Absolutely.
Now, y'all got a show coming up at the beginning of February, Haltom Metal Fest. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Chaz is a good man. How'd you hook that show?
Chaz is awesome. Literally, Chaz had just posted, "Hey, I want to put on my own metal fest at Haltom. Who's interested?" And I just literally typed, hand raised,
Let's do it.
He's like, "Yeah, I want you guys on." I'm like, "Cool." So I hit up Sam and Mike and said, "You guys available?" Chaz is doing a metal fest, and dude, Chaz is a heck of a dude, man. Love him to bits. Love what he's done with the Haltom. It's a fantastic theater, and I wish it was closer. Like, I'm probably about 45 minutes to an hour away. Otherwise, I'd probably be hanging out there a lot more. But can't wait to go play again.
Well, now you know how I feel when I got to drive to O'Reilly's.
Yeah, exactly. I know that is.
Because I'm in South Arlington in this motherfucker.
Good old South Arlington.
Hi.
Oh, yeah, full of meth and hookers.
That's basically
anyway.
where I grew up.
Oh,
I think
so
Hank can tell us some good stories about that.
Little road right there at Mansfield.
He could. I think he's balls deep in a girl, so, let's not worry about him. God bless him. Now, was this Haltom Metal Fest, is this in spite of the Ridgely Metal Fest?
I don't think there's any spite in it. I just think
well, okay, maybe not spite, but like competition. Is this good? Like, are they trying to compete?
No. I mean, the Ridgely's its own thing, and it's Fort Worth, and this is out in Haltom City. Certainly, having a metal fest, I'd love to see Trees do it as well and have a Dallas one. But obviously the lockjaw and everybody involved in the show at the Ridgely is going to be massive. I think that Chaz just went, "Dude, why haven't we got one here?" And so we said, "Cool, we'll do it with you."
Is that the same night?
No, I think it's like that's January 26th or something around there.
I was going to say, I might have to skip our show to go see
Here we go. No, dude, there's a killer lineup too. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, y'all are the week after.
Okay,
weekend
I found
after.
the flyer. Here it is.
There you go.
Good old
So we
Skeletor.
we just wrote a set because we knew our time was 11:45 to 12:15. So we actually wrote a set that's exactly like 29 minutes.
I can't see that picture without immediately going,
Ha 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 ha. Do you
shit.
summons the pits of hell?
Hey, Ricky, they're playing with Nonconformist.
How about that?
True.
Yeah.
Swarm?
We got a lot of friends on this. It's Swarm, and then you got Flash Mob as well.
Flash Mob.
Yeah,
Great
man,
dudes.
it's just gonna be a crazy night. Can you, Sam and Steve, what's the craziest shit that you've seen playing together?
Wow, what's crazy as we've seen playing together.
I don't know about playing together. I did watch a one-legged drummer pull his prosthetic off and lob it into the crowd once. That was truly entertaining.
Now you're just turning me on.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dream World.
Dream World. Oh shit. Oh wow.
Ages ago. I think that might have been one of the last shows they had there.
Oh, that makes sense. That was a great place, though.
Was that Billy? Was that Billy with the prosthetic leg?
I don't remember who it was. All I know is that I had a horrible migraine that night, and I had to duck under it as it flew through the crowd.
Good move. Yeah. Ninja skills.
Was it
I'm
still?
glad I caught it.
Was it still Dream World or was it Phoenix at that point?
It was still Dream World. It was right after John sold Dream World, and the new guy had bought it, and we were kind of helping, like, kind of piece the stage back together because there were holes all in it, and all that kind of stuff. So they kept it as Dream World, I think, for like a year or two after that, and then it changed over to Phoenix, I think.
Yeah, people need to know that how fun the Dallas music scene really was back in like the 90s, when you could walk into the basement and some band would be on stage and like Vinny, Rex, and Dime would come walking in and just literally jump on stage and start playing Cold Gin or whatever else, just take over the whole night. That was like, that was, I mean, especially now that we've lost Dime and Vinny, looking back, I mean, how lucky we were to have that. Motley Crue would be in town and you'd go to the basement and Tommy Lee and Vinny would come in and they would be back there behind the kit and Vinny's giving Tommy Lee something. I don't know if it's tabs of something or what it was. I have no idea, but they were both clearly just lit, both kind of doing the Alex Van Halen walk around the drum kit thing.
Got to get your pull somehow.
Yeah, and like they released, I don't know if it was a Vulgar video, and Ricky Rockman came out when they did Headbangers Ball from there. And my friend from Puerto Rico who had a really, really nice, thick Puerto Rican accent was heckling Ricky Rockman, going, "Hey, Ricky Rockman." Ricky, and he just screaming at him while they're trying to film MTV bits was a highlight. I mean, those were good times, man. And I remember there was a New Year's Eve gig, and it was at Mongo's, and it was supposed to be this big secret, but we all knew Pantera was going to play, but we didn't know who was coming in to sing, and lo and behold, here comes King Diamond walking in, and King Diamond and Pantera played New Year's Eve on the show, and it's like, man, I was a huge King Diamond fan at that point. Obviously, like I said, Pantera had just blown up, so everybody was all Pantera crazy, like we are again now. And,
hey, Steve, what songs did they play?
Oh, geez, it's on YouTube. They played like the Ripper or something from Priest or something. I'll have to look on YouTube to see the list. But
did somebody say YouTube?
Yeah. So my friends that were friends of Squeegee back in the day had friends in a band that was called Kid Coyote, which was kind of like a jeans and t-shirt rock and roll big hair band. And they were super nice guys, and they were pretty much, as far as I knew, best friends with the Pantera guys. And they had asked us to come out and help tech for them. So my friends were like doing guitar and bass tech or something. And they said to me, "Do you mind running Follow Spot?" So I was running Follow Spot while King Diamond and Pantera were playing. And I suck at Follow Spot. So they're literally jumping up there going, "Dude, you got to follow Dime." He's like jumping on tables and stuff. He's like gone off the stage and I can't find him. It was just so busy. Because, of course, people smoked in the clubs back then, so you couldn't see anybody anyway.
The good old days, where everybody got all tight-assed.
You didn't need fog machines back in the day because everybody smoked there was like a chimney,
If I'm not walking out with a cough, then it wasn't a good night.
Yeah. I was never good at smoking, but I was a professional cougher.
I can do both.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Steve, if nothing crazy happens at the next show, I will wear assless chaps to the one after that.
Yeah. I mean, I saw Gigi Allen in Dallas, and I never,
Whoa.
That was a nice transition, by the way.
So there was
Tell me that story.
Yeah. So there's a really good punk scene in Dallas, and it kind of The evolution. There we go. There's King. And if the spotlight looks great, that was me. If it doesn't look great, it wasn't me. But so Green Menalishi is one of them. There you go. Where were we going?
I had said that I was going to wear assless chaps, and you went right into GG Allen.
Yeah, that made sense. So there was a club called Slip Disc, and it was, I mean, as much of a dive, scary-looking spot you could ever imagine. It was over by Parkland Hospital.
Old Red Blood, but worse.
Yeah, my buddies that were in punk bands always played there, and I was always there on the weekends with them. So, you know, in numbers, it was a safe place to be. That place, after a while, closed, and then a place called Common Ground opened. And I think it was at Common Ground that actually Gigi had come through. The tour actually happened because he didn't get arrested and he wasn't in jail. So he actually finally came through and played Dallas. When he ran on stage, he was wearing a beanie and combat boots, and he was trying to play with himself. And here's this old naked man on stage. And I'm going, what did I walk into? And he looks at the crowd and says, hey, Dallas, as you can tell, my, you know, hasn't gotten any bigger, but my balls sure have. And I thought, this is, I mean, like, I love Gwar, but I know it's not real. This dude's just way gone. And he was trying to poop and he couldn't do it. Thank God. People tried to walk out the door and he chased them out the door. Like, he'd jump off stage and go, I was scared to leave, man. Old naked dude. And people were fighting him in the crowd. Like, he jumped off the stage and this guy was doing the little small pee-pee thing to him like this, you know? So he wanted to fight him, and the guy picked Gigi up and body slammed him, and Gigi just got back on stage and started singing. Then a girl had a VHS camcorder she was holding up, and Gigi grabbed it and smashed it against the wall. And it was just one thing after another. At some point, half the crowd left. They went outside to where they had a rental van and smashed it. They took all the windows out, punctured all the tires, and I think that Gigi wrote about it, and it was in some article that he said that Dallas sucked because they ruined their tour van or something. But yeah, it was,
and yet they keep coming back.
There you go. I mean, one time for everything, right? Yeah, but here we go. Here's so it was Savvy's. I thought it was called Mongo's at that point, but same venue in the Arlington area, and it was New Year's Eve, and it was supposed to be a big secret.
Arlington.
How cool was that? And King's just such a good dude, man. He's such a nice guy.
I still don't think I've met him yet.
We'll have to fix that.
I'm sure I will at some point.
Yeah, King's a great dude. I got to see a private practice before King Diamond went on the road to tour, maybe 10 years ago. And it was in Richardson at the Meyerson Center. So they did their full set in front of like 5 people as a practice. And it was like them, their manager / bodyguard dude, me, and a couple of people who were better friends with them. And it was just the coolest thing ever.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool. Did you see the Merciful Fate show?
I missed it, man. I wish I'd seen it.
Yeah, me too. I missed it, and I hadn't missed a show. Like, I knew I was going to miss it, but once I saw the videos after the show, I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I missed Queen in '79, the All That Jazz tour.
Wow.
And I feel like missing that Merciful Fate show was right up there with that.
Yeah. Freddie was something else, man.
Well,
no, I've seen Queen.
Kid, so.
I've seen Queen post Freddie, and I think Adam does an incredible job. He's not Freddie, but I think he's probably the best man for the gig.
Now, when was the last time you saw Dime and or Vinny?
I mean, we play trees a lot, and if we were playing with a national, like our friends in Powerman 5000 or Static X or something like that, Vinny was always there. So that would probably be the last time was one of those gigs where we're playing and you look up on the balcony and there was Vinny with his entourage. Either that or at Gas Monkey Bar and Grill, and it might have been when Avatar or somebody I think of that caliber was playing, and he was in the kind of cabana off to the side. But Vinny was always approachable. You could always walk up and say hello to him. He was just that, you know, he was a good dude. Dime, I went to the Art Institute of Dallas, and he was in the video lab with a friend. And every time I talked to Dime, it was always like there was a big crowd. It was always like the Basement or Dallas City Limits or some kind of venue where there was always girls hitting on him or
it was always
else.
That way. You could never spend time alone with Dime.
Yeah,
unless you were me.
Yeah, there you go. So I wasn't on that level. Like I was never in the tight, you know, family, but I was always on the outskirts. Like I was places where they ended up, however that worked out. But this one time I was at the Art Institute and I was in the little video lab working, and there's a guy by the name of Craig who's good buddies with the whole Pantera crew and family, and he's now a TV producer. He does like those Gronkowski commercials for the insurance and stuff, and he worked on Discovery Channel and everything else. Anyway, he was doing a video with Dime there, and I was a couple of bits down, and Dime came over and was asking me what I was actually editing, which was me playing guitar along with Core. Just I was playing around with the video editing equipment, and he sat down and chatted to me, and it was as they were kind of on their way taking off. They were officially making some money, and he said they were gambling all of it or paying people to do dumb things, and that's where their money went. But he was genuine. It was the only time I got to talk to him one-on-one with nobody kind of breaking up the conversation. And he literally looked me in the face and said, if I could swap places with you right now, I would. He goes, I can't go anywhere. You know, we're at that point now where it's just different. Like, he really appreciated his freedom to be able to go out and go to the store without getting harassed, you know? And I just thought that was really genuine.
I did run into Dime one time. So I ran into him one time at Hollywood Video.
Yeah.
I was in there, I was maybe like 13 or so. You know, I was still a kid. And then sure enough, comes this guy with a dyed red beard rolling up in his boxers on a motorcycle, walked in, grabbed a movie, walked right back out, didn't even pay for it.
There you go. Probably knew him. They knew who he was.
It took a year or two before I actually recognized that as Dime, but as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, crap, that was him.
Yeah.
Now,
I miss the old clubhouse days. Those were fun days.
Now, does that whole isolationist kind of living, does that make y'all a little hesitant to try to chase stardom at all?
No, because, I mean, I think, hey, look, it's Phil. There are people that are doing it now that are living a good life, and it would be just amazing to be able to just do music, right? And I think that's the goal. The fame, yeah, I mean, you want to play big shows, but just to be able to make a living playing music would be the end goal.
But I mean, like, if y'all couldn't leave the house without being mobbed, like, eventually that would probably wear on you. Like, does that ever cross your mind where it's like, man, I want to be known, but I don't want to be too well known. I want to actually go shopping.
Yeah, no, because I never want to go shopping. But if I was leaving the house, I'd either be on a bike or a motorbike or in a car. So I'd just buy one that's quicker.
I don't think I would handle it well. Like, I like the idea of it, but I'm entirely too much of a homebody, like, introvert that, you know, like, we have a whole band chat going on. I say maybe like one sentence a week, and they're like back and forth, like 50 messages a day, you know.
In my car.
So I don't know. I'm just kind of an introvert. So I think, you know, having tons and tons of people running up to me all the time would probably be a little frustrating, but I think I can handle a little bit of it.
I just keep a Sharpie.
Okay. Well, I mean, just think, like, if you
keep your
like,
Sharpie handy.
Imagine y'all blow up tomorrow nationwide and you can't leave your house. What would y'all do when you can't leave your house? Would y'all revert back into your music, or you know, do y'all think that y'all would just be like, man, unless you need me, I'm not leaving?
I'd buy a bigger house, number one. But yeah, it would be. I mean, that's kind of it, though. Those of us, especially somebody's been playing as long as I have, if you haven't sold out and gone pop, you know, then you're doing it because you love music, and that would never change. And it's always been therapy for me, you know. Like emotionally, a lot of us musicians are like roller coasters. We're up and down. You know, there are days where you see us happy as anything, but then we go back to our little caves, and you know, we're in there crying our guts out into a guitar, you know, and that's the reality of it. The artists.
Amen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've never met an artist that wasn't mentally unstable. So God bless you.
Yeah, and this is our therapy, right? So somebody could say, you know, when you're going to hang it up? I'm like, why would I? Because this is the way that I progress. This is the way I get through it. On this album, Isolation, it's 100% about getting through what was at that time the pandemic, like losing my job. I had members quit the band at that point. I was losing, you know, money, and just everything was failing, So there's a lot of that in the song, and even there's a song that touches on suicide and that kind of stuff. So that's the way you get through it, kids. You write songs that touch on the subject, and then you just scream it into a microphone.
Yep, that's it.
Man, I'm so sorry that you have those thoughts, man. I mean, is writing about it, has it been very therapeutic and made it like a less viable option?
Yeah, absolutely. You kind of try to sing or write your way through it, right? You put the words on it, and then at some point, I know we've had comments back where people have said, thank you, this song really hit me, like I had a split or lost a family member or something like that, and the song helped me get through it, that kind of thing. So when you get those comments back, I mean, that makes you think that you're sharing your message, but man, you're not the only one that feels it, so that's important.
Does that make you
the name of that song again, guys? Because I would like to check it out now.
From the Shadows.
From the Shadows.
Yeah, so I literally, because it was about suicide, I put the video together, and actually the words on the screen, it shows the lyrics, but it also puts up stats from the United States and from England in regards to suicide and dealing with it.
I do apologize if this offends you, but did you attempt suicide?
No, this year, no.
Okay, good.
No, but there are times where you hit that bottom, and I think those thoughts go through all our minds.
You start thinking about your options. You're like,
yeah, absolutely.
It definitely helps to have an outlet.
Should I be standing?
Absolutely, man. I passed a billboard the other day that said suicide is the #2 reason for death in America. So if you are able to affect even one of those, then you are actually more than just musicians. You all are fucking saints, man.
Oh, cheers. There, it just went by a couple of times, but my firm belief is that when somebody's depressed, they typically will sleep a lot. But then they go see a doctor, and the doctor puts them on medication which keeps them awake, which didn't fix the problem that they still don't want to live. And now they can't sleep, and then they end up killing themselves because you've just given them a pill that makes them go blah, 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 like this, and you haven't changed their train of thought. And the real way to fix it is through, basically, I'm not trying to preach anybody, but it's cognitive, right? Like if I think that I'm drinking this bottle of water and it's going to be the best thing I ever had on the face of the earth, when I start drinking this son of a bitch, it's going to be like the best thing I ever had, right? If you look at tomorrow and you think that, well, it's Thursday tomorrow and I got to go to work and I don't like this or I don't like that, tomorrow's you're going to wake up feeling crappy. But if you can find one good thing to look at, like I could look at maybe the Stars are playing or something tomorrow and I can go, man, I can't wait to watch my hockey team play, or I can't wait to go see a concert in a month, or I can't wait to see Metallica and Pantera next summer. If you can find that one thing to look forward to, you'll find yourself kind of getting in that rolling like a snowball of positivity. Without that, you just revert back to the depressing crap. So it's just a method of training yourself on something positive.
As a mildly humorous side note, Steve, that is my greatest fear, is like getting old and dying before the next Star Wars movie that I want to see comes out.
Yes. I totally agree with that.
That would just annoy the crap out of me. It's like, I need the ending to the story, and then you keel over before you get it.
Yeah.
So it's a very unsatisfying afterlife right there.
Absolutely.
Although I guess maybe I would know it at that point.
Yeah, I mean, you hope you got front row. Do they get previews up in the in the afterlife? Is that what happens?
And then maybe you could share it with us.
There you go.
Leaks from the afterlife. I like it.
I went to see my medium the other day, and she told me that in the next Star Wars movie, Rey is Palpatine with a time machine.
I'm kind of okay with this idea.
And the soundtrack is brought to you by Rivethead.
Hey,
that'd be sweet.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. And that's one great thing about technology now, is that you can get your music in places. So
yeah, like for example, the algorithms right now are computing all of that concept straight to Disney, and they're going, yeah, they're onto something.
I personally welcome our new mouse-headed overlords.
They've given so much life to Marvel and Star Wars, and what else have they bought recently? My dogs, I think.
Your soul.
They bought Fox, didn't they?
I think they might have bought Fox. They're definitely on ABC.
Disney's going to control everything. They own half the porn industry too. So
I could have said Lucasfilms. I guess I just went for the throat.
You went for the big mouse.
Oh boy.
Now, y'all worked with Nikki Sadler, is that correct?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Ricky here is related to Nikki. What was it like? What was it like working with her?
Nikki was a sweetheart,
Thank
man.
you,
I
Dave.
mean, she had her demons, you know, like any of us do.
Yeah, she did.
and-
So
Unbelievable, incredible talent. We met her at Coyote Ugly in Deep Ellum.
wow,
And
kick ass.
yeah, I didn't watch American Idol, so I didn't know who she was. I'd heard of it, obviously. But we went in and we were hanging out promoting Rivethead, going down there to promote shows at Curtin, and she's doing like karaoke night and stuff. And she's getting up on the bar and dancing, and she's, you know, cute pixie looking little Southern girl. I mean, she's with this just monster
pink
voice.
hair.
Yeah. And just what incredible talent. So I immediately was like, dude, I want to get her to come like guest sing on some stuff. I love this girl's voice. So I started chatting to her and we became pretty good pals. And we got her to come hang out and do some stuff with us. And we were working on, you know, she'd come up and guest on shows with us. She'd come up and sing Smack My Bitch Up with us and stuff for fun. And it was this big rolling party. And then she had this manager at that point that wanted to get an album going for her. And so Nikki said, I want you guys to be my band. And we kind of struck up a deal that we would allow her to use one of our songs on her album, and we would get like $1 for every sale. And essentially, we would do all the backing tracks. We'd be her band, basically. So then it was agreed that we would go out and like do a tour and go tour California, and we'd get to play as Rivethead opening for Nikki and just stay on stage and have her come out, basically.
2 full sets.
Yeah, it was cool. So we had that all worked out, and we played San Antonio with Nikki in 2 days in a row. We played with like Powerman 5000 and Crossfade, and I forget who else was on it. There were some other bands that were really big, and I can't remember the names. But then we went out to California, and for whatever reason, the promotion I don't think was handled properly, and her manager was pretty pissed off, and he and I ended up yelling at each other, and it became this whole blow up situation. And without getting too into it, that was the last time we ever played with Nikki, because we just couldn't work with her manager anymore. And that kind of ended it, unfortunately.
That sucks, man.
Yeah.
No, it's great. It's great. That part sucks, but the story's great, man. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you had a good time doing that. She was a very special, unique human being.
Absolutely. And I really feel for her, and I mean for Craig, and for her son and the family. I know your family as well. So, we got to do.
Yeah, thank you.
There we are playing live. I guess that was.
I found it.
Yeah, was that Tomcats, the original in Deep Ellum?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this was
That's
like
Here, I'll go back it up.
Yeah, this was a rehearsal that we did live. We were like, okay, we're going to go out and do all these live shows in California, so let's do it in Dallas first, just to kind of test out the light show and see how it works. And it was, man, we're having fun.
I barely remember Tomcats.
Yeah, it was a great venue. And we covered Cry Little Sister. And that's her son.
Yeah.
Craig's daughter doing the vocals with us.
If you ever want to cover that again, I can hit some of those high notes.
Cool. That's From the Shadows is the suicide awareness video.
I'm actually going to go ahead and take it back out. But if y'all want to, play it or play anything else, let me know.
Cool.
Now, was the rehearsal and whatever the whole setup working with her, was that difficult for you to hand over the reins to Nikki, or was it like a diplomatic kind of agreement with everybody as far as making the music?
Yeah, well, I mean, her manager had a number of songs that they wanted us to kind of recreate and make them metal. So at some point, Nikki was handed like a contract from, I guess, Simon Cowell or somebody that was like $250,000. And they said, we want you to make a country album. And she essentially said no, and said she wants to do rock and roll because that's who she was. and she rebelled and said no, and came to us, and the manager came to us, and
you're telling
yeah.
the truth.
Yeah, that's
Thank
true.
you for telling the truth, man.
Absolutely, and she had some songs that she'd worked up with Billy Blair while they were together, and so there was 2 or 3 of those, and then there was a bunch of songs that were handed to us, like, here, recreate these. So I just listened to them, and then I worked the guitar parts up to be metal, and added the keyboard parts for the ambience and everything else. And
so did they hand you sheet music basically?
Nope. They just they had some recordings, like MP3s.
Oh, so you had to figure it out by ear?
Yeah.
Was that a pain in the ass?
No, dude, I do it all the time. I absolutely love doing that. That's part of what I do with Rivethead too. Like, we do covers
that's
for
part
fun.
That's part of being the genius that is Steve Page. I understand.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love doing that. I love figuring out other people's stuff and figuring out how they put it together and make it work. And like when we covered the Imperial March from Star Wars, the Darth Vader theme song, I was like, okay, there's the strings doing this part, then there's horns doing this part, and how do I make that blend and make it sound right? And trying to figure out all those pieces, and kind of taking a painting and figuring out how they got that blue over there, that yellow over there, and then taking it apart, doing it separate, and then mashing it all back up.
Oh, so you see music as colors? That's fucking awesome, man.
Absolutely. Separate pieces that make up the whole, voyage, the whole picture.
Textures.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's got to go back and forth. It's got to be a ride at some point, but
yeah,
it's textures.
Now, when you bring a song to Sam and Mike, is it like, okay, this is how it has to be, and you play this or you play that, or it's just like, this is the riff I have, figure it out?
Yeah, I mean, like, the way I usually talk to them is if I have a solid feeling this song should go this way, then I'm going to go like, well, this is what I'm playing. This is what I've done on the keyboard, but you're a bass player and you're a drummer, so do whatever you want. You can follow me if you want, but if not, riff off it and figure out your bit. I'm not going to tell you what to play.
That's basically how it goes. And like there were a few times when we were writing the album, like I would hear the initial like kind of demo version of the song, and I'd be like, I don't know how this is gonna turn out. Like, I'd kind of dig it, kind of not digging it, but I'm just gonna roll with it and see what happens. And now that's like some of my favorite stuff on the album.
Yeah,
because everybody's input put together is really kind of what built it into what it is, rather than just letting one person run with it and say, you have to do this, you have to do that, which is what I was used to and everything else.
It's like a big painting. Like, you do your bit. I've only painted 1/3 of it. And I'm handing you the palette and the brush, and then do your bit and see what you can do.
Now, Sam, when Steve hands you the brush, where does your mind go?
It depends on the song. If it's something kind of, I'm kind of weird with it because like I said, I started playing piano and I started with guitar before I moved over to bass. So my brain typically thinks more in terms of harmony rather than bass lines. So most of my bass lines are either pretty on with what the guitars are doing, or they're trying to harmonize with what the guitars are doing, rather than, your typical like kind of slap pop, playing funky bass lines underneath and stuff like that. And I don't like, that's usually kind of where I end up going with it, is I see what I can harmonize with it first, and try to see kind of what feeling and what emotion I can kind of build out of that by trying to harmonize with it. And then of course the drums come in, and that can change the feel entirely just on its own, depending on, what rhythms are put with it and stuff like that too. So it could take something that's like super sad and somber and make it like kind of hyperactive and dancey with like one drum beat.
That kind of happened in a couple of songs, didn't it? It was super slow and sad sounding. The drums kept back, and Mike's going boom, 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 boom. I'm like, wow, okay, all right. I like where it's gone. Yeah, I like where it's gone.
It's positively sad now.
Yeah, it's absolutely. Like, this is the saddest song I ever heard. I love it.
See, that is a PSA to everybody listening out there. Don't just learn your instrument, learn other instruments. It will really help you in the long run.
Absolutely. And learn to share the job, If you don't want to share their songwriting and all that, then don't join a band. Just be yourself. And that's fine. But if you want to be a band, you have to you let other people have their say as well. And you can absolutely think something's the greatest thing on the face of the planet, but if the rest of the dudes or girls or whatever don't like it, keep it for yourself, you know, or just change it.
Absolutely.
Or give it up and let somebody else work on it, you know?
Dude, one of the greatest joys is working with other artists. And Steve, I must say, you did a fucking spectacular job with my song. If anybody is listening, check it out. Existential, No Help, featuring Steve Page. I've been trying to get it on the Eagle forever, but I don't think they like my email address. And that's fine. That's fine. You know.
Well, it's because the Eagle's no more the Eagle now.
Oh, the Freak. Sorry.
Freak. Is the Freak playing? Do they have a local thing anymore?
Yeah, they do. Like Sunday night, like 11 p.m., I think.
Oh, I thought they took it off. But maybe that was just that Debbie wasn't doing it anymore. I don't know.
Did it change over to like sports
Do you know
radio?
who's doing it?
No.
Who's doing the local show on Sunday night or whatever?
Last I heard was Debbie.
Well, Debbie's
no, it's not Debbie.
Yeah,
she moved to Colorado, I think.
She was doing it from Colorado, but I think Debbie.
I think they ended it, Dave Jarvis. The last time you and I talked about it on the show here, she was still doing it, but Debbie Sexton officially was whatever. So I think they let go of the concept. But so you guys go up there and you know, tell them somebody needs to start live and local back up.
I agree.
Well, there's always the Adventure Club with Josh.
You're talking about Mike Reiner.
Yeah.
You're talking about Mike Reiner after all.
Yeah. Here's a crazy thing. Yeah, like back in the day.
Mike? Hey, Steve, do you know Mike Reiner?
I don't know Mike personally, no.
Okay.
Respect for all the ticket guys and all the rest. They've done quite a bit. They've come a long way. But it's different. I was just going to say that, you know, when I was a kid, you could turn on the radio and there would be a DJ and it would be on FM or whatnot, and they'd be talking about the fact that you know, there's a local show they saw on the weekend and you got to check out this new band kind of thing. And that just kind of fell apart with the big conglomerates buying everything out, right? Like Clear Channel.
Sure. Yeah.
They were like the mall marketing radio.
Well,
you know,
we have KNON. I was just going to go ahead and say
I hope kids know this.
We have Hard Knocks Radio on KNON.
Yes.
You have
you got Alan, you got Dave, you've got Spicoli and Lee. Some of these guys have been thrown down for a long time, you know. And I hope the kids who are in school who can't get out to those shows yet because they're not 18 or not 21 or whatever are able to listen. Oh no, you spoke to Mike Reiner 10 minutes ago? That's awesome.
Do you know who this is, Steve?
I don't know who Just the Facts Man is.
Look at his face here in the picture. This is Dan McNew.
Oh, is it? Hey, Dan.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I've always had the respect for our local radio people because I know how difficult that field is, you know. And kind of getting back to what we were talking about, just mentioned the ticket a minute ago, was that, man, I managed to befriend every DJ at sports games. DJ EJ is a buddy of mine. He's the Cowboys DJ. He plays Rivethead. Mm-hmm. Dallas Stars, I've met and known every DJ since Ty, the music guy, which is like 20 plus years ago. When the Stars came to town, it was Ty. He did the Mavericks and the Stars. Him, Anthony, Eric, Jeff K, all of them we've done music for. And I was like, dude, why isn't the ticket picking up on us? Why aren't they promoting the local? There's a lot of local bands, and there's a lot of bands. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bands that have gotten played on the, you know.
Oh yeah, Pimpedelic owes their local fame to the ticket and Mike.
That's awesome. Absolutely.
Being related to David Allan Coe didn't hurt either.
No, I'm fucking around, you know. But
okay.
You know,
well, I have a different relationship with Pimpedelic than y'all might.
No, I'm just talking about the ticket and how the ticket promoted Pimpedelic when they could have been promoting our man Steve Page here in Rivethead.
Oh no, I'm not saying that. I'm not taking away from.
No, I just said it for the sake of it.
You're good, man. Shit, I think Steve is fine considering he's charting all over the country.
Cheers.
Man, you're charting in Tennessee, you're charting in Missouri, man. You're all over the country, man. So Do you do that, or do you have somebody that does that for you?
We will do radio campaigns. We'll use skateboard marketing and do some stuff with it every now and then when we have the money. But mostly it's word of mouth. Most of it. We do try to hit up radio stations and try to get music to them. But again, because we haven't got somebody backing us, there's no way we're going to get that big playlist payoff to get on some of the big stations. But thanks to some of our friends who are in the business, we get some spins. Like I said, Lex and Terry still spin us all the time, and some of these things work out. We're still submitting stuff for film and TV. We've had a lot of stuff that was on MTV and VH1 promos, and back in the day, that metal show used us 3 times, which I thought was awesome because I'm just such a massive fan of that program. If you guys watched it, and little film credits here and there that are working out. So it's every little bit helps. We just got fingers crossed on another deal, but it hasn't happened yet. We'll see.
The other day I came across the video of you doing Hella Good with old girl from Silver Loves Mercury.
Yeah.
Are they still a thing? Are they still doing shit?
Well, they stopped, but man, there was some hope, I guess, recently that her and JT were gonna put the band back together, and dude, I hope so too, because I absolutely love them.
Oh yeah, dude. I remember just walking into Skillman Street Pub, and it's like, I don't know who the fuck this is. Silver Loves Mercury, and I was like, oh sure, what the hell? And dude, they were fucking amazing. Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, she's so good, and then JT is a one man. He's a rocket ship. That dude. He's able to do everything, and the two of them together on stage is just fire and gasoline. I mean, it's just amazing.
Dude, I know the internet has helped us and everything, but I really miss just walking into a club and not knowing any of those bands and just being surprisingly impressed. That was just a wonderful, it was almost magical.
Yeah. There's not a lot of bands that can keep up that kind of pace and that kind of stage show. I think bands now are getting too complacent with just standing up there and not trying to put a show on. And, there's only 3 of us in a Rivethead show, but we're trying to take it back to the performance thing again. We've incorporated, and this is a big thanks to Mike, obviously our drummer. We've got videos going now. We've revamped the light show. Yeah, Mike's brilliant. So we're trying to get it back to where it's fun again, where you can go see a show and experience it, not just watch it, but actually feel like you saw, you were entertained. You just didn't, put your earplugs in and yell at the bartender for 4 hours.
I've been trying to work on a semi-decent storyline for, on stage and stuff like that too. So, make it just interesting and fun and weird.
Yeah. I mean, if you were to go see the Blue Man Group, apparently when you walk in that venue, it's like you're in whatever that world is, right? Mm-hmm. If you can go see a band play and they can have that kind of effect on you, it's like back in the day going to see Kiss, or anytime you see Gore, it's going to be over the top. And it's always performance heavy. You go see Static X now when they come through town. Rammstein, you know what you're up for. That's Metallica. Obviously, there's a lot of money behind all those bands, but still.
The new Pantera celebration.
Can't wait to see it.
I said it.
I can't wait to see it.
Now, Steve, you're fully in tune with how your band should sound. Do you tell the sound guy this is what needs to be done, or do you have a sound guy that comes with you?
Man, I think that we have our sound dialed in pretty well, that we trust the sound man just to make it louder. Really,
you trust the sound man? Jesus. Yeah.
I don't walk up. Like, I remember back in the day hearing these singers walk up, or let me start again. I remember back in the day hearing these girlfriends walk up. I can't hear my boyfriend. Yeah, give me a bit of chorus and a bit of echo and make me sound like Rob's W. So all of a sudden the vocals are doing this, and I love Rob, but it was always this barking orders at the sound guy crap, and I just thought that, man, let's just get out there and do our thing, and that's what we do. If they come up to us and ask us what we want, we tell them what we want on the monitors, and that's it. We trust them to get it right.
I've still run across a few sound guys that just take the bass and bury it in the mix, though. Irritates the crap out of me.
I think it's because a bass player took the girlfriend back in the day or something.
Well, you know, I mean, I can't help I'm good at playing the G string.
Hey, there you go.
It's
now,
who are girlfriend?
Who are some of the best sound men that you've dealt with over the years?
Oh man, there's so many really, really good ones.
Lee.
Yeah,
Well,
Lee.
let's focus DFW.
Yeah, Lee, Chad, James that was at Curtin and everything back in the day. I mean, let's talk about Lee. Lee's been all over the place. Lee's a genius. He's toured with all sorts of big bands. And I think nowadays mostly he gets called to do some pretty big gigs around. He'll go out and fly out and do stuff. But Lee's like family as well. Anything Lee touches sounds great.
He's a fantastic sound guy.
Yeah, Lee and Chad are both the kind of guys you could play a show and it would be some national band. And the national band's thing says that they have to be louder than everybody else. And they would just be like, whatever, and turn you up anyway.
Just
like
a 1 decibel boost.
Yeah, just like on the Queen movie where the guy moves the tape and rolls the fader up on the volume for the band that's not headlining thing. And everybody goes, whoa, you know, that's what Lee and certainly Chad would do for us. Like I said, James that used to be at Skillman and Curtin back in the day was genius as well. And some of the newer guys we're just kind of getting to know. So I have nothing bad to say about them, but I don't know them on the same level.
I need to get one of those hats, Steve.
What are some of the local venues that you still love to go to because they're sound man or sound woman?
I mean,
great question.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, dude, you know, if you walk into Trees, you're going to get a proper show. It's going to sound amazing. And that's my favorite. I mean, or Bomb Factory. But, you know, somebody's paying good money for that.
I haven't been to Bomb Factory in a minute.
And if you're lucky enough to get a show that Sterling's working on now, Sterling's obviously, he's known, loved, just, he's doing amazing things. I think he does some stuff over at, what's it called now? Texas CU Trust Theater, whatever it is. And he's badass.
Oh, the old Verizon Theater in Grand Prairie?
Yeah, I was just there on the weekend. I should remember the name of it. I saw Bluey.
They keep changing the names of these places, and I've lost all of them.
I'm not gonna lie.
No,
I'm not gonna lie, Steve. I saw the pictures of you and your kids at Bluey. It was so freaking cute, man.
Thanks, man.
Did they have a good time?
They did. You know, which is funny, and this is the magic of kids, right? There's these reviews online and photographs of Bluey live. If you have not seen Bluey, put on Disney Channel. It's Australian dogs. It's a cartoon. And it's Bluey and her little sister Bingo and their mom and dad. And it's super cute. It's quite funny. And if you're a parent, it hits on every bad parent joke that you've lived and loved. But anyway, when you see the live thing, it's these big kind of puppets and people are standing behind them, making them move by holding their arms. And all these adults are taking a piss out of it, saying, this looks terrible. I can't believe that, you know, they got people standing behind the puppets. It's cheap and all that. And I'm like, man, just let the kids enjoy it. My kids loved it. They didn't care.
Clearly, the people complaining have never been puppeteers. There
we go. Watching the Time Wasters, and the puppets were fantastic. It was cute. It was what it was supposed to be.
Did you and Sherry have a good time?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all that mattered for us was the kids were happy, and my little 4-year-old, she's been walking around with Bluey ears on for like every day this week. She's worn them to daycare every day.
Dude, that is so wonderful. Sam, do you have kids?
I do not. Not that I know of, anyways. So there might be 1 or 2 floating around out there somewhere, but
nice.
I haven't heard about them yet.
Do you want 1 or 2?
I'd be okay with the idea. I'm not necessarily actively going for that, but yeah, I'm not opposed to the idea.
I think Sam would be a good dad. He's very good with my kids. Like they'll come hang out with us while we're jamming. And
how old are you, Sam?
I am 36.
Oh, you got plenty of time.
Something like that.
Charlie Chaplin had a kid when he was 80, so you're good.
Wow.
Yeah, but he also had that really inappropriate mustache by that point, so.
Well, there's still time for you to have an inappropriate mustache.
Hey, does inappropriate mustaches help people
how to
have
get
kids?
the fascist tail, though.
That's how you get it, with the mustache.
Yeah.
That's what brings it.
I guess the girls like the inappropriate mustaches.
It does.
There you go. How did you get pregnant? He had an inappropriate mustache. Oh,
I just have the evil villain mustache right now. That's what I'm going for. Tying ladies to train tracks.
Aye.
Now, who are some of the nationals that y'all play with regularly that y'all are cool with on a personal level?
Certainly Power Man. All the guys in well, you know, like Static X became Wayne Static, and then all these guys that were in the band, we were good buds with them. Those are the two main ones because we played with them so many times. Mushroom Head, everybody's family with them. They're just good dudes. Avatar, we played with a couple of times. Super, super nice. It's always cool when them and Fear Factory both, they really made a point of recognizing when we played with them, which is always cool. I remember actually Spider from Power Man was on the Eagle talking about, you know, we play Dallas with this band and they come out with their stormtroopers and stuff on stage and Darth Vader and they're like, Rivethead. And they're like, yeah, those guys are great. So that was cool.
I somehow managed to get in reasonably well with some of the like kind of bigger underground names and like the old New York industrial scene from the 90s.
Cool.
So like Clank and Clayton from Cell Dweller. I've talked to him a couple times. Let's see who else. I'm good friends with the bass player from Bile.
Oh yeah, sounds excellent. Oh, I forgot I should mention Lacuna Coil.
Yeah, Lacuna Coil.
Yeah, we go to dinner with them when they come.
Hella fun to hang out with.
Yeah, I took Lacuna Coil in my Toyota Tundra truck, which I had at that point, to the Galleria to go shopping, which is quite fun. And we had a riot every time. It was super nice. And we haven't mentioned Sock Puppet Parody. Are you guys familiar with that?
I'm not. I'm sorry.
No
I'm
worries.
still on Luna Coil. Is that the
Italian?
Oh, okay.
So Lacuna Coil got really, really big in the 90s, and they're still massive. They're an Italian heavy metal band. I'll tell you the caliber, how big they are. Christina, who's one of the singers, was actually on The Voice Italy. So that gives you an idea how big she might be at home. But they did Ozfest a few times, and they tour. They've been working solid for like the last 20 plus years.
I'll say they've been going pretty relentlessly.
Yeah. So we got to know them fairly well. And there's a buddy of mine who is a 501st Stormtrooper like I am, and he would go on all the 70,000 ton tours and all that kind of stuff. And so my friend Lewis, who has Stormtrooper armor, would go on these boats with his Stormtrooper armor on. So all these rock stars know him as like the heavy metal fan who's a Stormtrooper. And so when they came into town, we both put on our Stormtrooper kits and went and hung out with them. And it was like they were so happy to see us, and we hung out with them for a few minutes. And I was like, well, it was very nice to meet you. We'll let you go because you're backstage. They're like, no, where are you going? We want you to hang out. So they got us to hang out with us, to hang out with them for like the whole night, which was fantastic. And we become family with them. So this is Lacuna Coil, if you're not familiar with them.
You should definitely check them out
for just a minute.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Do it.
It's a good song too.
Now, did Lacuna Coil come out after Evanescence?
No.
Well before.
Well before.
Do you think old girl from Lacuna Coil could whoop Amy Lee's ass?
I don't know Amy Lee personally, but I know Christina personally. Love her to bits. And I'm going to have to go with Christina on this one.
Got to go with what you love.
Yeah.
Come on.
Now, more than a girl fight, I would love to hear a collaboration between Amy, Lacuna Coil, and OTEP. That would be fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah. So the great thing about Lacuna Coil is that Christina has this wonderfully incredible voice, and she's got this range. And then you got Andrea, their other singer, and he hits it heavy. And like, especially on their newer stuff, he's coming out real guttural, real metal. So you've got this real juxtaposition between her pretty singing and his just giving it to you. And it's fantastic.
Would you ever consider something like that for Rivethead?
It sounds like Skillet to me. Sounds kind of Skillet-ish.
Very, very pre-Skillet as well.
Yeah, pre-Skillet. Pre-Christian Skillet.
Would you ever consider something like that? for Rivethead?
So have a female singer?
Like a back and forth?
Man, like I said, the position's open. If she wants to come in and give it a go, then absolutely. Here's the thing. I came from a band where I got to play guitar and and squeegee, I got to run around and just, have fun on stage.
Magic.
Yeah, as a singer, it's like I have this wonderful microphone stuck on my backside and I can't go anywhere because I got the next bloody verse coming up. And it's like I can't move around and dance around and have fun like I used to do.
Technically, it's your front side.
Yeah. I can only show my bad side, the front side. So
do you get writer's block?
No.
No?
No.
You always have something to write about?
Yeah. I mean, either I'm tired and I want to go to sleep, or I've got energy to do whatever. And I just tinker around. And if it's not coming out of the guitar, it comes out of the keyboard. It's just motivation.
Have y'all ever been like 3/4 of a way done with a song and just went, man, I just can't figure out what the vocals are, and then just scrap the song?
No, because normally with the vocal, the melody lines are all kind of constructed already as far as the music. And then we've played it so many times, it's like stuck in my head. And I start walking around and going, this song sucks. And it needs some words that go like this. Whatever else it starts coming to you. And then you figure it out. And the great thing,
do you scrap songs often?
We released 17. I think there was closer to 30. I think so. There's songs that didn't make the cut, but still might at a later point. We have them on Pro Tools, so we can go back and listen and take them apart if we need to. But I'm at the point where a song doesn't make that kind of cut. I almost want to just press on and come up with new ones, because by then they're not exciting anymore, right?
I think there was maybe one or two that didn't quite make the cut, and we ended up like splicing them together, and that actually came out really well. But yeah, I think we had 32 tracks total.
Yeah,
for the last album.
Yeah,
we ended up with 17.
Have there been any songs that Steve wanted to scrap, but Sam, you were like, no, let's keep this one, and it actually turned out well?
Not that I can think of. As far as I know, it was kind of a unanimous vote on each one, like which ones we were going to keep, which ones we were going to, set off to the side, maybe work on for the next album, or revisit and try to rewrite some of the riffs, or do something like that. But I don't like just tossing something or deleting an entire idea in and of itself, because there was a reason why I put it down in the first place. So it's something I can go back and revisit later on and try to figure out why I liked it in the first place, and see if there's any path forward with it.
Yeah, I mean, there's 10 plus songs right now that we haven't done anything with because we haven't got the money to mix it. We need to play more shows to get some funds. So if you'd like to send some money, again, call 1-900. Steve needs to stop singing and make real money.
That's a long number.
I can't remember that either.
It's California, don't worry.
There you go. Woo!
Gotcha.
Rivethead funds.
That's one of those Grand Cayman Island phone numbers.
Now, Sam, have you brought anything to the table that ended up being like fucking badass shit?
I mean, I guess Mind Like a Prison, I guess.
Stay Down,
one
Like a Prison.
Yeah, Stay Down.
First two that come to mind for sure.
I don't know if I would necessarily call them badass, just because I don't want to be the kind of haughty asshole. But I'll let Steve answer that question.
Yeah, like I said, like Sam's a machine when it comes to that. So I'm not kissing his ass because he's right next to me. Yeah, certainly Mind Like a Prison was the I think the first two riffs in the song. Sam just kind of started riffing them, and I like always grab my phone and hit record. Just like a little room recording, and we'll tinker around with stuff, but that kind of just flew. It just did one thing into the next, and then we had like 4 rhythms.
That was one of those things where like I had the original riff, like I was kind of playing around with an idea like on the way to practice, and then once I actually got there and got plugged in, I kind of plucked that out and it just kind of flowed into the next riff, and I was like, all right, cool, well, let's run with that, because that's a decent chunk of a song right there. And that's kind of how it ended up. So I think we changed the tuning of it, though.
Now, yeah. Sam, have you ever come to Steve with a fully formed song?
Not as of yet, mostly because I don't actually have like an electric guitar at my house. So the fully formed would be like me sitting down at my computer and like recording all the guitar parts, recording all the bass parts, maybe putting some MIDI drums over it and then sending it off to the guys and seeing what they think. Other than that, it's I just kind of annoy them with bass riffs constantly until they record me and I shut up.
Well, hey, if Sting and Paul McCartney can do it, so can you, sir.
True.
Now, Steve, are you like kind of standoffish when people other than you bring a song idea to you?
Nope, not at all. No, it's I mean, back in the day, I think I did most of the writing for, I mean, if not all of it, but I think part of what we agreed upon when we started with this lineup was that we should all be able to contribute and do our bit. And it doesn't matter who starts it, we'll all help finish it, basically. So it's kind of an open door. You know, I think I must have like 30 of Sam's riffs on my phone right now. I still need to go and start piecing them apart and put them with some little key bits to kind of complement what he's done and bring it back and go, hey, remember this one? You know, and kind of work it out.
It is kind of, it's weird working from the bass backwards through the rest of the instruments, but I just have random ideas that pop into my head and I have to get them out. Exercise the demons.
Now, do you write lyrics first and then add music, or the reverse?
Reverse. Yeah, I mean, I might have a concept in my mind. This is honest God truth that if you're in the shower or sitting on the toilet, sometimes things just come to you. Those are those moments where, like, okay, you're not standing, so you're not worried about gravity, like if you're on the loo, you know, and there's just nothing on your mind, and all of a sudden that little riff comes back to you. And it's like it's Sam. He's on my shoulder. And I start thinking, wow, what would match with that? You know,
I'm good at earworms.
Yeah.
Now, when you're lost for how a song should feel, do you like fall back on listening to certain artists to like get you back into that frame of mind?
No, you know, sometimes if you're just listening something and you've got a good idea how the music should go and you haven't got the words, you just kind of separate yourself from it, go for a walk, that kind of thing, go to work, have a week, come back and then play it again. And all of a sudden it just clicks. Because when it clicks, you just start going. Yeah.
So you're never trying to like emulate other artists and be like, oh, I want this to sound like this and I want this to sound like this. You just
we get to do that. Yeah, we get to do that kind of outside of our kind of original realm because we do covers for fun. And part of what we've got left that's been unrecorded is a bunch of cover songs that we've still got to mix and all that. And then what I mentioned before is that we have a project that we are part of now called Sock Puppet Parody, which is where we take original songs and we along with our buddy who's a producer and director, Brady Talk and Johnny Zero Forever, and with myself, Mike and Sam, we redo songs. And so we've redone a bunch. I can't really tell which ones we've got coming up because there's so many, but Lacuna Coil is one of the artists that we did, as well as recently we did Alice Cooper, and we did a Christmas special and a Rocky Horror Picture Show special. And our friends make sock puppet characters to act out these songs. And it's absolute genius. Before we got on board, yeah,
Alice Cooper.
That's a real cover band. But before we got on board, JT was doing all of it, our good friend JT, and they had done Pantera, they did Metallica. I sang on the Metallica one, and then they did Slayer, Slipknot. Corey retweeted the Slipknot one. I think it has 6 million views on YouTube, so it's been really big and a lot of fun. And right now we've got a bunch, probably 5 or 6 finished songs with them right now. They've not done videos for that are still being worked on. And it's,
now, when you say JT, you're talking about JT Longoria?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, JT's he's an amazing dude. I mean, just one of the most talented dudes I ever met. And he's
he's great.
He's King Diamond's vocal guy, right? And you know how precise King's vocals are from the lows to the highs. He's the guy that's in there pushing the buttons, making it work. But he also works with Izzy Stradlin. He's his bass player and producer from Guns N' Roses fame. And JT is just an incredible player and just a great dude.
Hell yeah. That's what's up, man.
Aye.
So when all is said and done, and I want to pose this to Steve and to Sam. When all this is said and done, how do you want us to view you?
Now, you're saying all is said and done tonight, or in at the band in the long run?
Everything that you've done in your life.
Yeah. Somebody asked me the other day, and a few weeks ago, they said, "What are you most afraid of?" And I literally thought about it for a minute. I go, you know what? Not being remembered, right? So I think at the end of the day, whether you say 5 or 5,000, but whether you touched a life or you touched the thousands of lives, the songs that you wrote had some meaning for more than just yourself. So whether it hit the charts and or got put in a movie soundtrack, if somebody listened to it and it helped them, or they just got them to bob their head a couple of times, that's what I want to be remembered by, is that I was part of something that was special to them for 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 30 seconds, whatever it was.
Well, for you, sir, it's been about 35, 36 years of special.
Too kind, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sam, the same question, man.
I'm honestly a lot of the same. As I really like to make sure that everybody I'm hanging around is having a good time and just having a memorable moment. Regardless of what I'm dealing with or what I'm going through, the second I get up on stage and I hit that first note, I'm in a whole nother universe. Like, I don't see the crowd, I don't see the lights, I don't hear the music. I'm just there, and that's what I want people to see. I want people to also experience that. I want people to just let go of everything they're dealing with and just jump around and slam into each other and have a good time.
Do people slam into each other anymore? I feel like they don't do that anymore.
I don't know about slam dancing really anymore. That seems kind of like an old school punk thing. But
I was at the Corn Show a little while ago and I got picked up and moved. And I think it was because I was probably not the youngest guy in the middle of the pit, and they moved me out of the way. I really do. I think I got picked up and relocated. I think it was like, let's get that old looking dude and move him away.
I think the last mosh pit I got in was for Shadow Reichenstein, like a long time ago at Reno's. And there was some asshole running around with a spiked bracelet, just like slamming it into the top of people's heads. And I kind of gave up on mosh pits after getting clocked in the head by that guy a few times.
I did see a dude get his mouth cut from here all the way out like this with a little knifey thing that was on somebody's ring like that.
A thumb knife.
Like it was a ring that popped out.
Well, Sam, you could have hung out with me in the pit. I'd have shown you the way through because I ruled the pit.
Oh, yeah, I used to go hard in the pit. That was just my last one.
Yeah, but I won't put up with that kind of shit. I never could. It was never in me. It's okay if people, enjoy beating the fuck out of each other. I'm into that too. But if you're not, or your girlfriend's not particularly interested in being bombarded with spikes on your head. Anyway.
Yeah, no, and I totally agree. Like, there's a point where it's too much.
Badass rockers.
Cheers.
Now, I wanted to have this last, 18 minutes. Okay. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. And so I've always wanted to pick your brain. And Sam, if you're a Star Wars fan as well, I'd love to pick your brain as well. So what are your thoughts on Disney's Star Wars?
So at some point, George Lucas kind of said, we need to meet and discuss the future of Lucasfilm. And if I'm going to let you take over it, I'm putting my people in place to keep it going, even though you're going to bankroll it and you're going to make sure it's successful. And I remember being a kid and seeing the first 3 movies in the theater, right? And I remember how long that was in between. I remember the lines around the block to see it and what a magical thing it was. And every time a movie came out,
people were in character already back then.
Yeah, they were. And every movie, it's almost like you could write a book about any of us that have been around that long. And those are chapter points, right? Like what happened when Return of the Jedi came out, or what happened when Phantom Menace came out. And some people didn't love those movies as much. And okay, that's fine. It's for entertainment. It's not going to make everybody happy. I love the latest movies. I think they are brilliant. I don't pick the pieces like other people do and complain about characters. I take them for face value. It's entertainment. I love the characters. I love the actors, actresses, monsters, spaceships, weapons, and all of it. It's magical. And for me, seeing a movie, it's like I mentioned on a rock show earlier. If I can go to a concert and I just disappear for 2 hours or 3 hours, or whatever it is, and don't worry about my regular life, then that's magical. And that's what Star Wars is to me. And through that, I joined the 501st and I build Star Wars costumes now and do public appearances with it. I've been hired by Lucasfilm 3 times, 2 times just to make appearances and 1 time to be in a TV commercial. So I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I think Mickey Mouse has done it right.
And the series is as well. Obi-Wan, Mandalorian, Andor, all that.
It's fantastic. I'm just ready for it all to come back. And like Sam said, I don't want to die yet.
There were some sketchy bits in Book of Boba Fett, but other than that, it was absolutely fantastic. I think they've done a fantastic job.
Dude, they brought Chrysanthemum. I mean, we got a brand new Wookiee, you know?
True.
Which is fantastic. We all need more Wookiee. I mean, whether you're into Star Wars or not.
Everyone needs more Wookiee.
Yes, that's the bumper sticker. More Wookiee.
I'm just a ridiculous sci-fi nerd. Yeah. So I spend most of my free time playing like space combat simulators.
Next to me I've got a phaser from
Star Trek phaser. Got a couple lightsabers up there, Stormtrooper blaster.
Yeah. We have a E11. And then I mean it goes on, let's put it that way.
All right, so Mandalorian ends with Luke from Return of the Jedi coming to save Grogu. Where can they go from here that will keep you interested?
Man, just start that damn theme song and get it going. I don't care what they put in between the credits, man. It's Star Wars. I'm going to love it. No.
They could totally fuck that up. Lest we forget Arrested Development Season 4. They can totally fuck up anything. So there's basically the whole about 20-25 years between that and between a Jedi and Rey. Mm-hmm. So he saves Grogu. Where would you like to see Grogu, Mandalorian, and Luke go? That makes sense, but keeps you interested.
Everybody joins the dark side, period.
Yeah,
I can tell you what I would like to see. Honestly, I can tell you what I would like to see.
Yeah.
Because after reading the comic books and getting some of Snoke's backstory and him and Luke fighting each other and all that kind of stuff, I would like to see Grogu actually get captured by Palpatine, used to create clones.
Yes.
Palpatine's got Luke's hand in a jar there on Exegol, so he could be using that to make Snoke clones, and then you get the callbacks to the old books of Luke's clone fighting Luke and all of that kind of stuff.
There you go. I mean, there's so many gatekeepers involved in Lucasfilm that have to keep things in alignment with the stories and what's canon and what's not. So my job is just to purely watch.
Well, now that all the ladies are gone.
Now, are there any actors or actresses working today that are hot and worthy of praise that you'd like to see in the trilogy that follows Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, so, man, I got to give it to Karen Gillan. I think she's
the ladies.
Oh, she's wonderful. Yes, absolutely.
You asked for more Wookiee.
Yeah, so if you go to Karen Gillan's Instagram and you dig deep enough, there's tweets of her and me hanging out. Me and my Wookiee, and she's like an ordinary day at a convention, and there's me standing there. My Wookiee, I'm 7'10", on stilts.
I became a fan of hers from Doctor Who.
Yes,
back in the day. So
yeah, I mean Matt Smith again. You can talk about Game of Thrones and all the rest. I think he's pretty much capable of anything.
He's gotten kind of the crap into the stick with some of the roles he's gotten up until Game of Thrones, though. Since Doctor Who.
Yeah, Doctor Who's brilliant though. David Tennant. I mean, I'm going all English now. But there's so much talent out there. What's the girl's name on the poker movie? What was her name? The one that she's just super cute, has big eyes, just she's quite
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Well, by all means, what's her name, sir?
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Anya Taylor-Joy. Yeah, she would be fantastic.
Oh, from Split. Oh, dude, she was fantastic in Split.
Yeah.
Yeah, Split, and she did what was that? Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit. Yeah,
that was the most recent one, I think. There might have been one other.
She was in that one movie with Ray Fiennes about cooks on a cruise. It just came out.
I remember something along that.
Yeah,
like it just came out. Okay. Any American actors do you think that could bring the gravitas that a British actor could clearly do with their hands tied behind their back?
Jonathan Majors. That's the guy that's playing Kang in the new Marvel movies.
Yeah.
He's an unbelievably great actor.
Nice.
If you ever saw, what was it? The Lovecraft Country. That's fantastic. Great. He's unbelievable in that. And then his whole delivery in Loki as He Who Remains is really what like sold me on his acting and everything. I'm like, yep, nope, I want to see this guy and everything.
Nice.
I'd tell you who I would like to cast. F. Murray Abraham from Amadeus and Last Action Hero and just a bunch of great Scarface.
Action Hero.
Yeah, we're going back a bit, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. But he was in what's his name? Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, where he was a mortician. He was so fantastic. He was basically a corpse that worked on other corpses. And I feel like Star Wars is about due for a horror movie. I'm just saying. Saying.
There's a book called Death Troopers. And it's not about the ones that are in the newer movies, the guys that are all black. It's actually about zombie stormtroopers. And it has Han Solo and Chewbacca in it. And it's quite cool. I actually built a zombie stormtrooper from that just to have it and showed it to the author, and he loved it.
God, I love you.
I want to see her as an alien.
She'd be great. What's the girl in? Is it Zoe? Zoe, I forget her last name. She was in
Zoe Deschanel.
Well, there's two of them. There's one that was in Star Trek, and she was in Avatar.
Zoe Saldana.
Yeah, she's brilliant.
Oh, she's great. Wonderful. Love her.
And she's in Marvel as well. She's
Gamora.
Yeah, love her.
I'm a sci-fi nerd, man. I got this.
Now, would you rather have Rivethead play the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon or SNL?
SNL. I can't stand Jimmy Fallon.
Okay.
I like Jimmy Fallon. I like him more than Jimmy Kimmel. Because Jimmy Kimmel.
I will give you that.
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel's too political. I don't get into politics, but if every show's monologue starts off with a poke at politics, you lose me right away.
Unless it's Stephen Colbert, because he's just funny.
Steve is smart with that because you know what? Everybody loves Dolly Parton. You know why? Nobody knows how she believes, left or right. And that is the right way to go about it.
Yeah.
She's just a good person.
Yeah. That was part of Ozzy's book. If you ever read Ozzy's autobiography.
Oh, dude, I Am Ozzy? That is one of the greatest books ever.
I'm not going to get the quote right, but he basically is talking to Jack, and he says, let's talk about politics. And he goes, we don't. He said, basically, we're from another country. Don't get involved. It's not your place to talk about it. Don't bring it up.
Fair enough.
Yep. And don't get me wrong. I absolutely love America. So let's put that forward. I think I'm lucky enough to have lived in what I think is two of the best countries in the world, which is England and America. And I am fiercely loyal and supportive and defensive of both of them.
Well, bro, you've given this country almost 40 years of amazing entertainment. And
thank you very much.
We can't even thank you enough,
without having been put in a straitjacket.
That you know of.
That I know of.
Yeah. Well, that was that one day a few weeks ago.
Stories.
Yes.
Man, as a proud American man, you have done wonders for this country that you may not even realize. You may not even realize how many people that you've helped and that you've saved, myself included, because I learned so much from watching you over the years. And dude, I can't even thank you enough, man. I'm starting to tear up actually. Dude, thank you so much for the time that you've spent with us and with me, man. It's been a wonderful ride, and I cannot wait to see what all that you and Rivethead have in store for this year and for the following decade.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
We'll keep cranking them out until, well, we can't walk.
I'm fine with getting rolled out on stage.
Okay, that's true too. We'll keep cranking them out till the arthritis says differently, and then we'll just hire Kiss.
We'll hire Kiss.
Yeah, because they won't be even Kiss anymore by then, right? It's going to be like 50 replacement dudes out.
I was going to say Kiss will be dead, and Mick Jagger's still going to be strutting around on stage.
No, they're going to keep replacing Kiss members one by one. It's going to be like, as they die, you're not going to know. It's just be like,
we've discussed this.
It's just going to be Gene
already,
Simmons and a bunch of 15-year-olds.
It's going to be holograms. They're going to go holograms.
Holograms of the original band. I like it.
Well, you'll be able to get both. You'll get a tribute band that looks exactly like the original members, where they'll shuffle out, young kids. Yeah. But then they'll also have the hologram version.
That's the thing we're missing. We need to start our own tribute band and stop doing the original one. Because if it was a tribute to Rivethead, we get to play
hologram Rivethead.
Yeah. Yes.
Hologram Steve Page. That would be difficult to do.
You never know what you'll see at a show. That's why you got to come out to one.
Mike's working on it.
Hanna-Barbera did a fine job of Kiss.
That's true.
So before we go out, Steve, Sam,
yes.
what is your message to the people of DFW?
Get out there and support the band. I mean, that's boring, isn't it? Everybody keeps saying go out and support local music because that gets old. But here's the truth.
How about go have fun?
Yeah, just go out and have fun with your friends. And if you happen to see a great band, you made the right call. Don't go see these other venues that are outside of your norm. Just pop in for a night and grab a couple of drinks. It's much better going to see a live act than some dude spinning something, that's been recorded and overplayed. You never know when you might walk into. I walked into Trees one night and saw Stone Temple Pilots, and there was 20 people in the club. But some of my friends went to Trees and saw White Zombie, and there was like maybe 20 to 50. I saw them at Dallas City Limits, and there couldn't have been 100 there. And those are things you can never take away. You get to see that band. I saw the
Cro-Mags at the Tombstone.
Wow.
Cro-Mags.
Harley Flanagan.
Nice.
The Cro-Mags at the Tombstone.
You just never know when you're going to walk into a venue and see something that's going to blow your socks off. And maybe the odds are against it happening, but the one time you got it right, you'll never forget it. Just like I said. I mean, that the nights you see that little band that all of a sudden is playing stadiums, they'll always stick with you. And buy their album. Walk up, shake their hand, have them sign it, whatever. They're going to be impressed that you even took the time to do it. And then when they are huge, and you can just tell everybody else to piss off that they weren't just,
like outgoing. I am, sir, appreciative that you took the time tonight. I mean, you're like my redemption.
Hey, wait, Sam, answer the question.
If I got a message for people out there, it'd be go see a local show and don't be a dick. That's pretty much it. That's words that I live by.
Yeah, man. Kiss all the people that you see and be good to them.
Yeah. Don't leave angry.
Yeah.
I just quoted Mike Reiner on The Freak, the downbeat.
Nice.
He closes the show with kiss all the people you see and be good to them.
Exactly.
Mike's a legend.
Just be good. Just be nice
Steve,
to people.
Steve, you're a really cool dude, man. I've had a great time with you together. Thanks for being cool with us tonight.
Oh, hell yeah. Thank you for having us, guys, man. It's a pleasure.
Dude, the pleasure has been all ours, man. Thank you for letting me pick your brain. And thank you, Ricky, for having me on. This is always a wonderful experience. Wednesday night, every Wednesday night, 9 to 11. Blow your brains out with Ricky Warden and Dave Jarvis. Thank you very much, Steve and Sam from Rivethead. This has been a wonderful evening, man. Thank y'all very much. Be safe out there, okay?
Thank you, guys. We'll see you at the next live show.
Cool. Stay metal.
Damn right.
Bang head.